what I love about powder is you can introduce it to children.
Yes.
You know, this is
Get
me.
Jack on the gains.
Yes, Jack's
Yeah.
on gains. Jack's on
jacked.
gains. He's on gains, and he's also on a vitamin one because the doctor's like, he doesn't eat enough vegetables. I'm like, honey, he eats better than everyone in this hospital right now. Relax. And it's amazing the difference. Because when he gets enough protein, when he gets enough water, and he sleeps enough, we're cooking with gas. It's like a different child. And I see what happens when you feed a kid. I've never done this to Jack, but I see what happens when you feed a kid Skittles before they walk into a classroom in the morning. That's the reality. A lot of people are dragging their kids out of bed because they're not sleeping. They're not going to bed early enough. They're not sleeping enough. And then they're struggling to get to school. They don't want to go to school because they're so exhausted. And then they feed them a bunch of sugar to bring them up or give them the pills so that they're relaxed in class and numb for the teacher. Like it's this cycle. So I love powder because powder is something you can put in a kid's smoothie. You put literally some mangoes, a banana, and like some strawberries and put a little bit of powder in there based off of his weight. And off we go to the races. And he knows it's in there. We're not even hiding it. I'm like, buddy, you got to have your smoothie today. Yeah, I need to get my vitamins. Like this is a conversation with my 7-year-old that I don't think is very difficult to have with grown adults, but yet they're so reluctant. And I reached out to you because a friend of mine was like, "Oh, I'm bringing smoothies into the shop." And I was like, "Protein." She's like, "Well, I'm going to do a vegan one." I was like, "No, you're not. We're going to talk about this." And that's when I text you, and she was like, "Oh, I'm interested in this because it's the digestive component, right?" And so that's what I asked you. I was like, "What's in it?" Because I struggle with whey. Like it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
We are not friends.
For a lot of people, whey doesn't sit with them. And like, we love raw milk, but with whey, it's kind of this byproduct where you're taking these like really industrialized cows that are probably hopped up on hormones. They're probably fed corn. It's not a ancestrally consistent diet to what a cow is supposed to be eating. And then you turn that into milk, then you process it, you turn it into a powder. There's all these steps from like real milk to actually getting whey protein powder that just doesn't digest well in people's stomachs. So we we over-index on the gram of protein, but if it doesn't sit well in your stomach, you're not actually digesting that protein. That's where the bioavailability comes into play. And that's why we use the beef protein isolate, because you're just taking the muscle tissue of the cow and you're turning that into a powder and something that it's an extremely gut-friendly protein powder. And you do such a good job with Jack, because I think as a parent, it's
we try really hard.
Right? And there's only so much you can do, but it's about making it fun. So like a lot of Noble parents that give Noble to their kids, if you blend Noble chocolate with milk and give it to your kid, he's going to think it's chocolate milk if you don't tell him what it is.
You already do it.
Yeah. And even like you can take grass-fed yogurt, throw a scoop of the chocolate in, throw a little heavy cream, mix it up super well, put some like paleo granola in there. It tastes like a chocolate pudding.
Right.
So, but he's getting organs and he's getting protein and it's going to fuel him for the day.
Right.
So I think a lot with parents, I'm like, does your kid have ADD, or did you just give him Skittles and now he's trying to sit through history class?
And that's honestly, and I'm a judgy parent for that. And people are like, Kelsi, you should be better about that. I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it. But here's why I'm judgy. If you don't show people where the gaps are, if you don't bring it up to them, and they are the people who just don't know, who are only raised on cereal and raised on, Pop-Tarts. And don't get me wrong, when I was overseas, me and Mo's Pop-Tarts were my jam. I had them for a little bit, but I couldn't gain weight to save my life because of the heat. So doesn't matter. But my point is like, if you don't bring the stuff up to parents, they're never going to know. So the least you can do is go, hey, this is a gap that I saw, and this is how I do it. This is a gap that I saw in our family. I don't know if this could be beneficial for you, but we saw a big change in our child.